Hello and welcome to Long Beach Lens. I'm your host, Derek J. Simpson, and we're very happy that you took the time to join us. As always, we bring guests that we think are people of interest and influence and of impact in our community. And today we certainly have such guests with us. And the first one on this show is someone that I've known for many years and somewhat new in her position, but she can tell you about that right now, and that's Miss Jeannie Egan. How are you?
I'm good, Derek. How are you?
Very well, very well.
Good.
So I say I've known you for many years because you've been involved in this community doing great work over an extended period of time. So for those who don't know you, let's start with sharing a bit about who you are and your background, and then we'll get into what you're doing today.
Okay, sure. So I started doing work in the Long Beach community about 20 years ago. I was involved in a strategic plan that the city did in conjunction with the community, and out of that plan came a nonprofit organization that I founded called Long Beach Blast. Wow. And Long Beach Blast provides college mentors to at-risk students in Long Beach.
And is it still going now that you're...
Going strong, happy to report it's going strong.
All right, so I was often reminded that the sign of a strong leader is not so much what happens while they're there, but how things go after they leave. And the fact that it's going strong says a lot about your leadership.
Well, that's very kind. I think it says a lot about current leadership too. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a team effort. So, for the purpose of your interview today and educating people about what's going on, there is something called Long Beach Call. Can you share the story behind Long Beach Call? Sure.
Long Beach Call, first of all, CALL is another acronym that stands for Career Linked Learning. Okay. So Long Beach Call is a 501c3, a nonprofit organization that was put together by our three education institutions, CSULB, Long Beach City College, and Long Beach Unified School District. And the mission of the organization, which I now direct as the executive director, is to make sure that our students in Long Beach graduate from whichever of the education institutions prepared for careers and prepared for the workforce. That's probably a general statement about what Long Beach Call is supposed to do.
Okay, and so you then work closely with those other institutions in the work that you do to identify the youth, I would assume, or the students rather, and then on the other side of the equation, the corporate partners as well to be involved?
You could basically have my job, Derek. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, you know, the good news is that with the education institutions involved, Long Beach Call has great access to students. Right. And a big part of my job, of course, is, as you said, to look for corporate partners who would like to provide the kinds of activities and opportunities that help students be prepared for graduation and be prepared for the careers that they select and the jobs they take.
Now, if I'm a local corporation and I hear you say that, what would be an example of how I, as a company, could help a student be prepared? What would you be looking for in me as a corporate partner?
Great question. So what we provide are called work-based learning experiences, and examples would include internships. They would include guest speaking. They would include mock interviews. They would include workplace tours, any way that a company could connect with students so that they learn what's going on in the real world of work.
And do you find that the corporate community is being as responsive as you would hope in terms of being involved?
Well, I'm pretty persistent, so I would say that we've had very good success. In fact, I have to admit, I'm routinely floored by how generous our corporate partners are in terms of the time and support that they provide for our students. That said, we are always looking for new corporations, new local businesses, new industry professionals who would like to work with our students. You know, it's really something that businesses have a self-interest in, insofar as, you know, we often hear that students are not prepared for careers. So I would say that we've got a great group of partners, and we are always looking for more.
Now, are there particular sectors that you wish were more accessible to you? I mean, I know that oftentimes when I talk with youth, especially here, they don't really know where they want to be or what they want to go into until they happen to hear someone speak. It's like, wow, I never knew that was a career or an opportunity. But are there career paths that if you were speaking to the world right now, you say, wow, if you're in XYZ industry, we'd love for you to sign up?
I would say that, two big industries that a lot of students study in are engineering and the health industry.
Okay.
And so those are two that occur to me, although obviously we have a large hospitality industry here and we like partnering with them and we have partnered with them. Pretty much the industries that we partner with run the gamut.
Gotcha.
And yes, students can really hone what it is that they're interested in much better by interacting with an industry professional than by learning in the classroom. I mean, both are important.
Right, right. Now, I know that you have the industry councils, and can you share a bit about what's the purpose of the industry council?
Sure. Yes, our industry councils are fairly new, and in fact, very consistent with what I just said about, the sectors where we are looking for additional help. We have both a health industry council and an engineering/manufacturing industry council, and really the industry councils are intended to provide good input for educators, so that not only are students exposed to real work-based experiences, but that what they learn in the classroom is also informed by real-world industry experience. And so they provide help in terms of what are the jobs that they are seeking to fulfill, particularly if they're having trouble filling them. They will review curriculum so that again, that fusion between education and industry is more direct and more deliberate.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I know from a health perspective, I think, a part of some of the initial meetings, and one of the initiatives was when they were trying to define what did our local health community want in a nursing graduate. And they found that oftentimes people think that they can take these quick one-year classes and all of a sudden they're certified, when the fact of the matter is there was a certain protocol that our collective health industry wanted the students to follow. I don't want to digress in it, but just to say it was a powerful opportunity for the healthcare community to come together and say, listen, if you want to be a nurse in this community, this is what you need to go through. And I thought that was really intriguing to see how the community could come together and come to consensus on what they look for in graduates. I know that's one industry, but do you think there's benefits in other industries doing similar initiatives?
Absolutely, and that work is still very current. In fact, we recently convened the Health Industry Council for precisely that purpose.
Good.
Tell us, where are you looking for graduates to fill jobs, and what are the skills that you are looking for them to have, so that we make sure we capture that both within our education institutions and then in additional certifications or other requirements. Really important and a great way for the community to come together.
Great. And speaking of community, how do potential stakeholders get involved to help you and the Long Beach Call initiative?
It's very, very easy. We've made it as easy as possible. So probably the best way would be to go to our website, which is www.longbeachcall.org.
Okay.
Or anyone can call me. I love those calls to say that folks
Okay.
want to help at 562-997-8291.
And what are career champions? I read about that. What do you call a career champion?
Well, we have a great group of folks who are involved in helping us make the kinds of connections that we need to make to accomplish our mission. And I'm very, very grateful for their efforts. They have the kinds of contacts that we really need, and we are absolutely utilizing them to help.
And I'm John Doe in the community, and I hear this interview and I think, wow, that's something that our community really needs. What can we as not just business owners, but citizens of the community do to help you be successful?
I guess the main thing is to let me know that you exist,
Okay.
which you can do again on our website
the
or by
website.
calling me,
Okay.
because there are always activities and opportunities where we simply need professionals. So, for example, I have a mock interview event coming up, and we have 50 industry professionals. So some of those came via the companies where they work, and some came because they are interested in helping students and interested in supporting what our schools are doing.
Okay. So there's lots of moving pieces, but you're at the head of the orchestra conducting it all and making it happen. Final thoughts. We have about a minute or so left, but what do you want to leave as a thought for those who are viewing this interview to consider going forward?
So I guess what I'd like to end on is our real need for summer internships.
Okay.
And now is the time to let me know if you are a business owner or a company that would like to host a student this summer. And, you know, they really do accomplish a lot of work. A lot of businesses say, well, what can students really do? And, you know, the answer is they can do a lot, especially technology-related things. They're quite adept, you know, and they're very eager to learn. And, you know, they do enough in the way of screening through Long Beach Call that by the time they're out at an employer, we really know that they are ready to work.
Well, I think I think Long Beach Call is an amazing asset in our community, Jean, and I really appreciate the way you've just come in and taken control and taken the mantle forward. We here at Long Beach Cap will do everything that we can to be supportive, and we certainly hope that everyone viewing will do the same. Thank you for joining us today. We're out of time.
All right. Thanks so much, Derek.
Yes,
I
yes.
appreciate the opportunity.
Keep up the good work. We want to thank Jean, and when we come back, we have another very engaging guest that you will love to hear from. Stay tuned for more of Long Beach Lens.
State of the City. It's a community event. Right now the community fair is happening with over 20 community organizations representing a whole host of folks working for equity and justice in Long Beach. Success tonight means people walking away with a deep understanding of what is happening in our city, that they feel connected when they hear what is shared, that they know that the problems they're experiencing, they're not alone in that, and that they feel inspired to take action.
I started off as a community organizer right out of college, and I fundamentally believe that the condition of a community is rooted in the condition of the people. So a community isn't made up of statistics or buildings or city halls or libraries. It's made up of people. When the people are hurting, the community's hurting. When the people are thriving, the community thrives.
State of the City is a fantastic opportunity for all of these different groups to talk to everybody. I think it's a demonstration of how important it is to build power through people.
Hello and welcome back to Long Beach Lens. I'm your host, Derek J. Simpson, Executive Director of the Long Beach Community Action Partnership and here at PadNet TV. As we said before the break, we have another engaging guest, someone that I've just had the pleasure of meeting, and she has a great story to tell as well, and that's Miss Patricia Dixon, and that's with Pools of Hope.
Yes.
Pools of Hope. Now, I know you have a life before Pools of Hope, so first of all, I'd like to introduce our guests and just sort of give some context as to who you are as Patricia Dixon before we go into the Pools of Hope. So a little bit about yourself and how you became a leader in our community.
Well, Derek, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here with you.
My pleasure.
And I have a background in working with foundations prior to coming to the Pools of Hope. I was at a major foundation for many years, and I've been on many boards, and that kind of just led me to the Pools of Hope, where I've been for the last 20 years.
Now, I would imagine, because I came from a corporate background where I was the person signing checks for $50,000 or whatever for nonprofits, and now I am a nonprofit executive director where I'm constantly asking for checks of any amount. I would imagine that background for you, being on the foundation side and then becoming a nonprofit exec, had to be insightful for you as well, huh?
It was indeed. It was a major change.
Yes, it is.
I worked in grants management in the foundation, so exactly, we were used to processing the grants and really signing the checks, sending the checks out, and then to work for a grassroots nonprofit like the Pools of Hope was different. But my experience really played a great part in helping to navigate and grow the organization.
Yeah, they're very fortunate to have you with that expertise.
I feel fortunate to be there as well.
Yeah, mutual blessing for sure.
Indeed.
So, what is California Aquatic Therapy and Wellness Center, Inc., DBA, Pools of Hope?
Good question. California Aquatic Therapy and Wellness Center is a nonprofit aquatic therapy and wellness center in Long Beach. We've been there for 55 years. This year is our 55th anniversary.
Congratulations.
We're really, thank you. That is, we're very excited about it. Our DBA is Pools of Hope. Our former name was California Pools of Hope, and we tried to drop it, but people love the name of Hope and pools, and that's who we are, and that's what we do. So our DBA is Pools of Hope, and like I said, we're celebrating our 55th year of providing therapeutic aquatic wellness programs to children with special needs, the elderly, injured individuals throughout Los Angeles and Orange counties.
So is there a pool at your location? I mean, help me understand. And those who are
you got to
watching,
come over.
I do. It sounds like it. I need all the therapy I can get.
Yeah, there are two. We have 2 indoor heated pools.
Really?
94-degree pools. Not too far from here in North Long Beach. And like I said, we're celebrating our 55th year. And we like to think that the water is warm and the people are even warmer, the hearts of the people, and that's what's kept us around for so long.
Now, I got to digress because you brought a guest with you that's not going to be able to be on camera. But when you talk about hearts warm and people being warmer, we got to give her a shout out. Tell us about your guest and her name and who she is and why you brought her.
Well, that's the wonderful, the one and only Phyllis Bird.
Yes.
Phyllis we serve seniors, we serve, like I said, our population is anyone who wants to exercise in a warm water facility. And Phyllis came to us because of an injury that she had suffered at work. And she was helped to rehabilitate herself to where now she's singing, but not only singing, she's dancing. She's, like you said, a very vibrant person. She's been coming to the pool at least, I would say, 10 years.
Wow.
And she's just one of the people that we are privileged to serve, to empower them to regain their life back through our warm water.
Yeah, I was joking around with her, as you know, and she said she was in an NBA commercial. I was like, oh, was that you dunking the basketball? She's like, no, but I was with Kevin Durant, or no, Garnett. Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett, yes.
Quite a feisty lady.
I
she's
love amazing.
Her spirit.
And she brings a lot of life to our organization, as many of the people that, like I said, we have been privileged to serve for the last 55 years.
Okay.
It's about empowerment. That's what we provide. We say we provide freedom.
Right.
The water properties provide freedom for people who may have suffered a car accident or a spinal cord injury, orthopedic arthritis. I could go on. Children with autism to experience their best life.
So you have licensed therapists
Yes.
on staff, and so is this something then that my health care would have to refer me to if I were injured, or someone would just find you on their own? How does the connection occur?
All of the above
Okay.
and then some.
Okay.
We get referrals. We do aquatic therapy. We have a doctor of physical therapy medicine
Okay.
where we do get referrals. We partner with different healthcare providers to provide aquatic therapy. That's one of our programs. But then we also partner with social organizations, community organizations, doctors, hospitals for referrals, patients to the program. We have an annual membership, just like a gym.
Oh, really?
That where you can come and exercise in our warm water 5 days a week to improve your health and wellness.
So if I'm a weekend warrior,
Yeah.
So for instance, I do kickboxing.
Okay.
And there are many days
Oh.
I'm hurting worse.
Yeah,
than
you
when
need
I
our
went
pool.
in.
You need- you could use
so,
it.
So people like that then who just have aches and pains of a
Absolutely.
normal way of life could just come in.
Absolutely. People who
Interesting.
want to rehabilitate from, injuries, like I said, or people with different type of medical conditions
Right.
that are referred by their doctor sometimes, or they find us on their own because they may not be able to exercise on land.
Right.
Because most of us only weigh 10% of our body weight in the water. So thereby exercising is made possible where it may be prohibited on land for
Right.
many people.
For your joints and
Yes.
everything else. Yeah,
Strength,
I've heard that,
conditioning,
right.
endurance. We have many people that have taken their first walk from injury in the pool. I'm often told you should call it the miracle pool instead of, change the name to the miracle pool because that's what we are privileged to see every day.
Now, are there other pools of hope, so to speak, in the LA area? Or are you the only one, or what?
That's not yet, but we are hoping to expand, take our pool to other areas. But right now we are located in North Long Beach.
Okay. Not even people who do similar things. I would assume like maybe at hospitals they have that? or
There are
something?
other pools
Okay, gotcha.
that are similar, but we
Right.
say what makes us different, Derek, is because we are accessible. We have ramps, we have water wheelchairs, we have hydraulic lifts. So to enable people with mobility issues to have access to our pool. The other factor is that we are affordable.
Right.
Our fees are low. Our mission is to serve the underserved, low-income, disenfranchised. So we are accessible where other places there may be a cost factor that will prevent others. And then the other thing about the pool is that we have 94-degree water, we have two pools that are 94-degree water.
94-degree water?
94-degree water.
That's pretty warm.
Yeah, it is, and we're year-round.
Okay.
So you can come, throughout the year.
Yeah. I like what you're saying, though. I mean, understanding the mission of Long Beach Community Action Partnership being that we serve low-income families and realize how restricted they can be in accessing services that
Yes.
they need, such as this. It's great to hear that you make sure that your program is available to people regardless of socioeconomic conditions, and that's certainly a blessing for all.
It's a must.
Yeah.
We are located in an area that is socially and economically disenfranchised.
Right.
And our goal is to serve anyone that need access to our warm waters of hope.
Now, from a youth perspective, that in our community, as you know, here we serve youth, but adults as well. There's no restriction in terms of ages. It's just people who need help, right? that
That's
can come
correct.
to you.
From, I got a call this week, a 6-month-old child
Wow.
with this disability, to our oldest client is probably like 107 years old. And they come from adult day care centers and different organizations. We get referrals from regional centers and different organizations, like I said, throughout the community.
Now, what's your vision for the future? I know that all of us as nonprofits are
Yeah.
constantly looking for the dollars to help us keep the doors open
Yes.
and the services at a level that we know the community deserves. But when you look out, in your strategic plan a few years out, what are some of the things that you would like to see happen that maybe the community could be supportive of to help you continue for another 55 years?
Well, one of the things that we want to do, our plan is to grow our organization, to take it to different communities, because believe it or not, I get calls from all over the world about our program. How can we start a program? Do you have one in Riverside? Do you have one in the San Fernando Valley? And so that is one of our biggest goals, is to take the Pools of Hope to different communities. And we're looking at Northern California and different areas.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can use people that want to support our organization. As you said, we are a nonprofit, and we couldn't, as you know, would not exist if it were not for the generosity of the community. So we're looking for partners. And speaking of partners, we're so glad to partner with LAC USC Medical Center to provide a breath mobile for asthma that we're going to launch on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th.
Okay.
From 11 to 1 p.m. And we're celebrating our 55th anniversary as well. We're blocking off the street, and it's a community wellness event. And so we look for partners to help serve the community.
Mm-hmm. And when you talk about a partner, if I'm out there and I'm an individual or I'm a company, and we just have less than a minute here,
okay,
what would you say to them to say that you could be a partner? Because some people may I want to help, but I'm not quite sure if I'm qualified to help. What would you say to that kind of
I would say, call me.
Okay.
You know, let's talk about what your passion is, what you do,
there you go,
and what we do, and you'll see where the roads meet.
Right.
You know, it just starts with a conversation, right?
Yeah.
There are many ways that we can partner together to serve and better the lives of the community.
Yeah, I often find that if I go into a meeting without an agenda, but go in with an open mind and heart, with the people around the table, you come out with an agenda that you never could have thought of.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
You as
and
well.
You're a close by neighbor. I got to come up there and check it out.
Bring
for
your
sure.
swim trunks.
I will.
Okay.
I will. Not my Speedos, my shrimp trunks. So we're at the end of this particular show, and it's been fun talking with Jeannie Egan with Long Beach Call, and now our guest here, Patricia Dixon from Pools of Hope. I hope you've enjoyed these conversations as much as I have. We appreciate you supporting us here at PatNet TV and Long Beach Community Action Partnership as we work diligently in this community to help people and change lives. We want to thank all of you as viewers. We want to thank our sponsors, and we want to thank our guests especially for making Long Beach Lens a local source of news, information, and entertainment that we can all appreciate in our community. Thanks again for watching Long Beach Lens. Until the next time, I'm Derek J. Simpson, Executive Director of the Long Beach Community Action Partnership.